Hello, welcome to Fibro Warrior, my new normal. I'm MJ Aragon, and I'm here with my producers, Jojo Merricks.
Hey.
And Tony Jeffries.
Hi.
Hi. Today I will be sharing a post that Nicole Miro had put on one of my dear, on the Dear Fibro page. She shared this, and I asked her if I could share it with you all because I thought that it was a good subject to touch on. And then I also, I was going to have my love, and I do a skit about what not to say to someone with fibro, but he just had surgery done on his kidney. He had a really bad kidney stone, a staghorn kidney stone, which is too huge to pass any other way, so they had to remove it surgically. So he's not feeling too good. I posted about this on the page. I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about already. But so I'm just going to maybe have JoJo read the questions, and I'll, react the way I know most of us would, and then I'll have him say the right thing, the right way to say something, what they mean to someone without being offensive, which some people, they're not doing it on purpose. Not everyone, some people are, it just depends on the person, but sometimes they just don't know any better, so I'll talk about that. And we're going to share a few films that we thought, being that we deal with a lot of downtime and we're melancholy or depressed, it's nice to have something to watch or read or whatever. So we're going to share some films that we thought might be good movies to watch that are positive, uplifting, funny. And then as a bonus, because I got the book in the mail, I'm going to share my friends Kim and Karen's book. So we'll talk about that. So first I'm going to read the post. Oh yeah, and also someone else wrote a journey, a gentleman named Ray, a friend of mine on Facebook. They're fibro friends. They're both gentlemen with fibro, and it was a really good post, kind of like basically his journey, so I'm going to share that as well. This is the final episode of the season, number 28 of our season 1, so I'm trying to squeeze in a bunch of good stuff that hopefully you guys can enjoy. All right, so here's Nicole Miro's, her rant, basically, post that she wrote. Something that really annoys me is when people with fibromyalgia make broad statements as if they represent all of us fibro sufferers. I am 22 and cannot work a job. I can't drive a car. I can't wear bras or underwear. I am physically not able to get out of bed some days, and yes, I have peed myself because no one was home to help me. There are warriors who work full-time jobs. There are warriors who garden. There are warriors who can exercise every day. There are warriors who are also able to go for a walk or a bike ride and a million other things I am no longer able to do. No one person's fibromyalgia is the same as someone else's. I would never claim to be more of a sufferer than people who can work full-time jobs, and I wouldn't want someone who can do more than me to look down on me and assume I'm doing this to myself. I also expect others to recognize that just because you have fibromyalgia and can do a task does not mean that every person with fibro can do it as well. If they just stopped making excuses or got up and incorporated regular exercise into your daily routine. If you are in a flare, recognize that it is a flare for you. You may be able to do dishes or work out when you're in a flare, but there are people, like me, I have proof, that can't even grip a cell phone or a cup of water during my flares. We are all suffering in our own way. And I'm not trying to be morbid about this. I am just trying to open minds and make people see that it's rude to suggest, well, if you just do blank, 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 you won't be in so much pain. Because it's not your pain to critique. Do not make someone feel like they are lazy or unmotivated or pathetic because they're experiencing a different pain than you and cannot complete the task you can. Do not use your fibromyalgia to bash others, even passively, for not being able to function like you. Not one of us needs that type of negativity in our lives. We are here to love, support, and lift each other up. That's what we all need. And I thought that was a good post, and I have seen that, and it's unfortunate. You would think that having fibro, you'd be a little more careful, but then again, some people have just begun to go on this journey, and they aren't really aware of what it happens and what other people are going through, and so I think that they they think that what they're dealing with is probably the worst thing, because it does seem bad at first, but it does get worse, unfortunately, and not everyone is on the same stage, so people are dealing with it in different ways. And so I guess it would just basically, and I hate to say it, but just ignorance on their part. They just don't know any better. And so that's with anything in life. You know, we can't comment on things we don't know much about without offending somebody in some way. Then the other thing was, so I wanted to, you know, we all have these things that people say to us that we just don't think are appropriate. So I'm going to give this to you, JoJo, and just read them to me, and my reaction, I'll just react off of what your question. There's 5 of them. You're first going to say the wrong way to say it, and then there's a right way.
Okay. Just wrapping my head around this.
Yeah, sure. Take a second.
Alrighty, ready?
Yeah.
Should I count them out?
Sure.
Number 1.
Sure.
Number 1. Wrong way. It's all in your head. You look fine to me.
It's all in my head. Really? Yeah, I just feel like making this up so you'll feel sorry for me. It's so much fun when people pity me. Thank you so much.
Am I reading it right?
You're reading right as well, yes.
Okay. Although you look good, I believe you are in a lot of pain. And I understand it must be difficult to manage. That's the right way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is really tough. Thank you for understanding. That means a lot to me.
Number 2.
Yes.
Wrong way. No job. It must be so nice not to work and stay home doing nothing all day.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. Yes, I enjoy so much not being independent anymore and not having any money and barely able to feed myself, let alone pay any bills or have someone take care of me. Yes, that's so much fun. You want to trade places?
Right way. I understand how losing independence and income must cause you a great deal of stress.
Oh, yeah, it is really stressful. It's nice that you're reaching out and that you understand. You know, it's hard. Most people don't understand, so thank you for that.
Number 3, wrong way. Just push through it. We all get aches and pains as we get older.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure your aches and pains are exactly my aches and pains. I'm sure that you get shocked from head to toe, that you feel like someone's stabbing you, or your skin hurts just because someone touched you, or you're tired all the time, or you can never remember anything, ever. Sure, we're exactly alike.
Right way. I can't imagine the amount of pain you must be in. Is there anything I can do to help?
Oh my God, thank you so much. Yes, if you could help me, I need to move some things around and I can't really lift them. And maybe if we could stop at the grocery store, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Numero 4. Number 4. We're bilingual. Wrong way. You just need to exercise and eat better.
Yeah, I haven't tried that. Imagine that. Excuse me, but I've been exercising and eating well my whole life. Look where that's got me. I didn't smoke. I worked at the gym, practically a gym rat. I ate well ever since I can remember. I hardly drink. You know, what I'm guilty of is working in an environment where the people smoked and blew it in my face and around dirty things. Yeah, that's purely my fault. I didn't try to do anything to help myself feel better. No, I did those things already and I feel sick.
Right way. Is there anything that may help ease your pain or that you may eat to feel better?
You know, I sometimes, when I'm in a lot of pain, it seems silly, but sometimes just eating something that I really enjoy, it kind of gets the endorphins going in your brain, and I actually don't feel any pain for a little while. And if I'm well enough, maybe I'll go outside and get a little fresh air, things like that. So yeah, there's things that sometimes can help ease the pain. Thank you for asking.
Number 5, wrong way. It can't hurt that bad. At least it's not fatal.
Wow, really? You're comparing it to something fatal. Awesome, thank you. Yes, I deal with this every day. I'm in pain every day. Sure, I look fine, but that's because I tried to not show you how bad I feel. Do you think I want to go around looking as miserable as I feel? Who would want to be around that? So of course I look fine to you. I'm miserable though. I'm in pain. I can barely get out of bed. I'm tired all the time. I can barely remember my own name some days. So, you know what? Go.
Explicitive, go do. Right way. It must be so difficult to live with pain and cognitive issues daily.
It really is tough. And, you know, it's sad to say, but you kind of get used to it after a while because I've had it for a long time. So yeah, it's tough. The cognitive stuff is tough. But when you're around people that care enough and understand, you know, like yourself, you know, it makes it easier because I don't feel like I should isolate myself because I know that you're trying to understand what I go through. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
And that's all 5.
Yeah. So I know that there's variations of that, what we just did, but in general, those are things that we hear, and it's really, it hurts us to hear people talk to us in that way, and some people do it intentionally. Others don't. They just don't know any better. Some people say, some of us who need the pain medication, that they're drug seekers. Okay, look, we all have different levels of pain, and we all need different things to help us with our pain. And to tell someone that they're a drug seeker because they want to not be in pain is absolutely absurd. So, you know, when people say those things to us, you can choose to or not let them know that that's not the way to approach that. I imagine most people can confront family members and let them know, hey, that's not right. And maybe other friends, they're not so eager to tell them. But I correct people. I feel it's necessary because otherwise I'm just adding to the ignorance if I don't tell them. So it's important, I think, that if you can and you have the fortitude to let people know that that's wrong. You know, they have to look at it differently, that things are hard on us. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean that we're not in pain. And that's why I'm doing this, because I want people to realize what this all entails, that it's not just one thing. It's a myriad of things that are going on, that are happening to us day to day. Some days worse, some days are not so bad. But when we're in a flare, it's insanely painful. We feel terrible. I can't even begin to explain it in the best way because it's such a overwhelming feeling. And then you have the good days where you can get things done. And unfortunately, a lot of us, what we do is on our good days, we do too much because we're like, yeah, I can do something. And then we inevitably pay for it for days or weeks, depending on the person. And, you know, but that's just the way it goes, you know. Some of us are still able to exercise, and I exercised for a long time. I used to play softball. I was as active as I could possibly be. It wasn't easy. I'd be in pain afterwards every time, but I still was able to enjoy it. But when it got to a point where I just physically and mentally couldn't handle it, I had to call them and say I had to quit. That was really not fun. That was like right before, about a year before I quit working, and it was you would think it wouldn't be a big deal to say, hey, I can't play softball, you know, on my co-ed team, you know, you think that wouldn't be a big deal, but it is, because it's something I love doing and it kept me active. And to have to say I couldn't do it anymore, I felt a bit of a loser. Like I felt like a wimp, and that's by far not the description of me my whole life, because I did everything on my own. I was Miss Fix-It and worked on things that, you know, normally, you know, you'd be, hey, get your boyfriend or brother or family member or dad, someone, you know, a guy to do. You know, I was lifting things I know I shouldn't have been lifting, but it felt good to be able to do it myself, so I tried to do it anyway. I'm not suggesting that anyone does that, but that's how I thought. You know, I was very much a tomboy, so I wanted to do it myself. And anyway, I kind of lost track of where I was trying to go with that. But so I wanted to share a couple films that, sorry, I'm saying I'm noticing I've been doing that a lot lately. I got to cut that out. But I'm having trouble thinking of what I'm trying to say next because I'm so hot and really wears on me. So I have like 4 movies. One of them, it's my favorite. It's kind of, it's a goofy movie, but I think it's funny and it makes me laugh. And I'm probably one of the few movies I've seen many, many times. And it's called The Sweetest Thing with Cameron Diaz. Christina Applegate and Selma Blair. It's very much a chick flick, but my man Bill actually enjoys watching it with me. It's pretty funny. If you get the DVD, there's this extra version that they have where they're singing the song. It's an absurd song, so if you don't get the full version, you might not be missing out, or you may like it. I don't know. I always got everything with the extra outtakes and all that because I enjoy watching that stuff. The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, Jaden Smith, and Thaddeus Newton. That was a really hard luck movie. Turned out wonderful in the end. I love those kind of movies. They make me happy. Of course, it starts out kind of tough, but seeing that they made it out in the end happy, of course, that makes you happy. I mean, we like happy endings, right?
You know what my favorite part of that movie is?
What's that?
When he walks out onto the sidewalk and he's just walking down the street clapping. And everybody's just walking past, and nobody knows why this dude is clapping.
Right.
They have no idea.
And he didn't care.
He didn't care. Yep. It was like, fine, boom. That was great. That was so like real life, because nobody knows everything that you've done and how hard you worked. And when you get it, it's like, finally, like.
Yep.
It's such a silent moment too, because remember, it was very quiet in that moment. You couldn't even hear what was going on. You couldn't hear him clapping his hands.
Right.
They just showed it for a long shot. He's just clapping, and that's it. That's my favorite part of that movie.
And you think about it, different people are homeless for different reasons. And for someone to look at someone and disparagingly because they're homeless, you don't know their story. You don't know why they're there. It could have been self-inflicted, but you don't know why, that they drank too much or took too many drugs, because usually people who do those things are trying to cover up some sort of pain. And so we have to be a little more compassionate and realize there's a reason why they're there. People know to say, oh, I'm just going to be homeless. No, that's not what happens. It's not, oh, I'm so lazy, I don't want to work, I just want to live in the street. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. So when you see someone on the street, treat them with respect. Yeah, maybe they have mental issues, whatever the case may be. I'm not saying be their best buddy and hang out with them, but I'm saying give them respect, And if you can truly see that this person's homeless, you can tell the difference. There's people out there today, as you drive by this guy, and the urge, I want to give this man money, but I can see he's clearly not homeless. I've seen homeless people, and this guy looks like, oh, today I just don't have any money, pocket change, or he's just out there trying to make a buck because his friend just switched places with him. It's like they're working their 8-hour shift. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people do this. They're not really homeless. They're just out there taking people's money. And of course, a lot of us with a good heart want to give, and so we do, and we're giving it to people who don't really need it. And that's sad. So,
but you do your part in that transaction as well.
Yeah.
If somebody's asking for help and you give it to them, if they're doing something they're not supposed to, it's not going to affect you in any way. You did your part.
Yeah.
That's how I always look at it. It's like, hey, man, whatever you're doing with that,
right,
that's on you. You're going to pay for that in some way, shape, or form.
True.
You asked for help, I gave you help.
Right. Like, I helped you. You say you're hungry or whatever. Did we talk about this? I feel like we talked about this. This guy was sitting outside like a Circle K or something. This was many years ago. And he's like, my daughter's starving. I just need to get her food, gave me the whole sob story, and he looked really sad. And I'm like, okay, hold on when I come back out. So I came back out and bought him a couple sandwiches and something to drink, right? I'm like, here, so you guys can eat. And he's like, oh, thank you so much. Went in the store and exchanged it. And I'm like, you can take a sandwich and exchange a sandwich? I'm like, I can't believe the guy did that. The guy took the sandwich back and gave him the money, and I'm like, so he can he bought alcohol. And I was so upset with the guy in the store. I'm like, you know what? First of all, you don't know if he did anything to the sandwich, because it was just in cellophane. It's not like, it's just baffling. But
you did your part.
Yeah. So, and another movie. This one is, I just watched this again the other day. This is something I've seen a few times. It's called Down with Love. It's kind of like a 60s style movie with Ewan McGregor, Renee Zellweger, and Sarah Paulson. And it's a cute movie. And basically, people think that they're someone else. I can't say too much because I'll give it away, but it's a really cute movie. It's funny. It's light. I think that you would enjoy. I think you'd enjoy watching that. And then Sweet Home Alabama. That's a really cute movie. I'm sure a lot of people have seen this movie already, with Reese Witherspoon, Josh Lucas, and Patrick Dempsey. It's a really cute movie, kind of a love triangle sort of thing. And but I like it, and it has a good ending. It has a happy ending. we talked about happy endings before, not everything in life is a happy ending, but sometimes it's nice to watch those type of things just because they are happy endings, so it makes us happy. And even if it's just for a moment, at least it's making us happy, right? That's important. Let's see, what's wrong one? All right, and then I'm going to read, excuse me. Now this gentleman's name is Ray Clark. He shared this post was shared by a fellow Fibro warrior, Paul Longbottom, who's a friend of mine on Facebook. And this basically, from what I read, it's basically like a journey that he wrote. And it's called The True Reality of Fibro. I look normal. Don't let my outward appearance fool you. I am in pain. I am not the same person I was a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 4, depending on when it was you last saw me. I look healthy. I am not. My condition changes from day to day, sometimes even hour to hour. Today I might be able to walk with you a few miles. Tomorrow, I may not even be able to get up off the couch. A week ago, I felt almost human. Next week, I may feel like something less than what the cat drags in. I may want to do all the same things I used to work out, take long walks, socialize, keep some semblance of household order, but I may not be capable of it. If I say, maybe later, please understand and accept this for what it is, which is not an excuse. It's a reason. I don't enjoy my new limitations. I hate it. I might even be physically able to do today what you wish for me to do. But if I know without a shadow of a doubt that pleasing you will mean for me later an incredible amount of pain, I must say no. I'm not lazy. I just hurt. I absolutely do not want pity. This is no reason to feel sorry for me. Life is not perfect, and life happens to us all. This is the hand I have been dealt, and I intend to play it out. I don't blame the world for what I suffer. I don't rally against God. This is no one's fault, not even my own. I do not crave attention. I didn't decide one day that I was tired of living like a normal person and that the means to a life of never again having to work, having my whims catered to, having friends and family treat me specially involved creating symptoms no one could see under a microscope. I loved my life the way it was. I was never depressed and I had plans. This isn't a cry for attention. It just is. I don't feel sorry for myself. Why should I? Things don't always work out the way you'd like them to. This is one of those times. I can live with who I am now. I may not enjoy each day as much as I used to, but I still live for each day and embrace whatever I can get out of life. Pain is my companion, but pain is not me. The truly hard part, if you cannot accept me for who I am now, I am sorry for you. I won't waste precious energy chasing after you to cling to a friendship that probably wasn't as strong as I had once believed it to be. I cannot force myself to readopt who I was before and resume the same roles. In this preserving myself and my state of mind, I have to be selfish. If you cannot accept that I might not be able to contact you every day as I did before, or engage in activities that we once did, whatever it was, training together and working out together, or just bowling, then do me a favor and let's quietly part ways with no ill feelings. My life is going in new directions, and for me that might not be a bad thing. If the changes I have gone through disturb you, hold your criticism. I don't need it, and I don't want it. Life deals us a bad hand occasionally. This is my turn. It happens. I accept it. I hope that you can too. From a fellow Fibro, Ray. Ray Clark is his name. I actually just joined their group today. I can't recall what it's called, but I will post a link to it when we post this so that you may check it out. It's a closed group. There's not too many people in there. I think it was like 89 or 90, somewhere around there. And then, where are we on time?
Still 19 minutes, actually.
Really? Going through this faster than I thought. I wanted to do that skit with Bill because I like doing stuff with him. I have fun with him. We've been together a long time and I still have fun with him. But I'm happy that I have you because I know you're so tired. If you see him zoning out over here every once in a while, he works his butt off, and then he comes here and does this.
And then drink it. You don't have to have the energy drink. It's just like...
It does the opposite. Instead of giving you energy.
It's weird how the effect it has. Because it's like I'm alert, but I'm not. It's like, whoa. You know.
Right.
It's kind of...
A little bit of zombie.
Yeah.
My wonderful friends, Kim Johnson, who you've heard me mention many times, I've shared her blogs and such, and her friend Karen, they co-authored a book together, Fighting Fibromyalgia, your personal journal. It's called The Shadow Boxers. I will say, first and foremost, because this is important to us, it seems like a minor thing, but the book is pretty light. And it actually feels kind of cool in your hands. I can't describe the feel. It's almost like plastic, but it's like a really soft, I can't explain it. It feels good in your hands. Anyway, it's light. So there's a lot of times I can't read a book and I end up listening to an audiobook or something, or reading it on my phone because the book's too heavy. And this book is actually light. It's a fairly quick and easy read, and it has a lot of spaces in here for you to journal. And for example, on that page, I just put Fibro Warrior. So they touch on a few things. Actually, I'm just going to read this to you. Fibromyalgia is painful in multiple ways. The stresses of chronic illness tire not just your body, but also your mind and your spirit. And living from one fibromyalgia flare-up to the next can make the road ahead hard to discern. So focused are you on those agonizing moments that the bigger picture seems obscure and out of reach. With The Shadow Boxers, authors Kim Johnson and Karen Anderson offer hope. This new journal allows you both to chronicle your journey through fibromyalgia pain and envision a life in which you aren't trapped by anxiety and negativity. Johnson and Anderson focus on 7 areas of your life that need attention and 6 healthy habits that you can implement to change your perspective and brighten your future, with interactive writing prompts, inspirational stories, and a valuable list of resources. All the tools you need to fight fibromyalgia head-on are here at your fingertips. Now, my wonderful friends did something that I thought was really cool. They actually mentioned our page and podcast, whatnot, in their book as one of their recommended resources.
That's pretty sweet.
So little asterisks there, right here. I thought that was really sweet of them.
Can I see?
Right here. And
Where?
Fibro Warrior, right here.
Oh yeah.
Where
yeah,
the asterisk is.
Yeah, sweet.
They mentioned a few. This is a Fibro Warrior, what works for fibromyalgia, my chronic pain, my Fibro team, the mighty life, new life outlook. There's a few things. There's a few books they mention, sites on the internet like ours, blogs like Kim's, Wendy, Holcomb, Ann B, Terry. They all have wonderful blogs that they wanted you to share and read and get some insight. Now, the cool thing about this book is it's kind of interactive as to a point where you journal in it. So you get to read a little bit about what they're talking about and things that they suggest, and then they leave a little area in each section. Sorry if the page will stay where I want it to be, where you can add to your journal. So they just give this little area. And this one says, journal the symptoms you are experiencing. And so, because everybody has their own personal things, not all of us are going through exactly the same thing at the same time. And then there's a part in here where they also, they share others' stories. And so there's other people in the book who share their little pieces of their story. I've got to get used to this new mic. And let's see what else. But basically, there's sections they're telling you ways to keep a positive mind, give yourself affirmations. Oh yeah, she wrote a little something in here. To MJ, a true Fibro Warrior, you help so many. May this book be an something. Oh geez, what does that say? A something resource. Can you read that? Right here. I love you, Kim, but I don't know what that says. I can't read what that says.
Adored.
Is that adored?
Hmm.
I'm not sure. Anyway,
I
appreciate it so
Can I see?
much. Yes.
I'm gonna figure this out.
I feel silly right now because I can't read that. And then her handwriting's not bad. Mine's
No, it's not.
atrocious.
That's the only word.
Yeah, but I'm having trouble with that word.
I'm just gonna look until I can figure it out.
So the book, I read it today. It didn't take too long to read. I didn't journal anything in it because I just wanted to go through it and get a feel for the book. And they both share their journeys, what they went through. And they have a lot of good information in there. They give you a lot of great ideas on things to handle, how to handle your fibro, ideas on, how to keep yourself positive and keep your mind positive, trying to do things even if it's light exercise, things that, once again, they realize that we're all different and we handle things differently, but they want you to help. They want to help you find what works for you. So a lot of things in here are basically suggestions and trying to help you move along through this as the least amount of pain that we can that we can have. We're always going to be in pain, unfortunately, but there's a lot of great suggestions in there. There's they talk about certain subjects, and then they have people talk about their feelings on the subject, or how they react, how people react to it, and how their family members handle it, and so forth. Who they are able to share these things with, and who actually supports them, things of that nature. Let's see.
Oh, I didn't know you still were gonna go through the book.
What's that?
I didn't know you were still gonna
No, I'm
flip
reading
through
the
it.
contents, the table of contents.
Oh.
So, what is a shadow boxer? Welcome. What is fibromyalgia syndrome? What are fibromyalgia syndrome symptoms? She shares Kim's story. What causes fibromyalgia syndrome? What is a fibromyalgia fog? What is a fibromyalgia flare? What is a fibromyalgia toolbox? And then she shares Karen's story. The 7 areas of positive change. Questions and answers. Dear Fibromyalgia. Dear Fibromyalgia is people writing letters to fibromyalgia as if fibro was a person. And that was actually kind of interesting to read everybody's take on that. 6 healthy habits to develop for fibromyalgia syndrome. Your story, they leave room for you to write your story down. And it's important, I've talked about this before. Let me finish real quick about the author and Kim and Karen's recommended resources, or the rest of the book. Your story. So this is the book again, very light, easy read. And, interactive. You get to write your own things in there. So I actually like that a lot. Writing your story. Now, Jodo and I have talked about this many times about writing things down. Writing your story down is really going to be therapeutic for you. And I like that you can write things down in the book. Now, if you get the ebook, I think it's called, on Amazon, the book's available on Amazon. I think it's $12.95 if I remember correctly. And if you do purchase the book, and when you read it, give them a review. They'd really appreciate that. They worked hard on this, and they want to know that it's helping others. So get this book or the ebook and buy yourself your own personal journey if you have it on, just have it on the internet and not an actual book that you hold in your hand. Get yourself your own little journey and just answer the questions and go through it like as if you had the book. And I think that it will help you so much. It will, writing, I write down things when I'm upset or happy, it doesn't matter. But when I'm upset about something and I write it down, it's like I've taken it, once again, I've removed it from my shoulders and put it over here and said, there it is. And I actually feel better. And I know it seems like a simple thing, and it's hard to understand why that would work, but it really does. And this book gives you plenty of room to write those things down. And they talk about this, and it's important that we do that we tell ourselves positive things. We feel, in general, I think a lot of us feel a little bit stupid. I hate to say it that way, but we feel a little stupid compared to who we used to be because of our cognitive issues. And sometimes we tend to step away and avoid people because we're having such a difficult time remembering words. We stop in the middle of a sentence, full stop, and we see the people across from us looking at us like, okay, say something else. And sometimes we'll be able to come back into the conversation, remember where we were going, and there's other times it's gone, it's completely lost, and there's no finding it. And then you stand there feeling ridiculous because you just completely forgot what you're talking about, and there's no way you're going to pull it back. And so you have these people who probably don't even know what you're dealing with, wondering what the hell just happened, and they're looking at you strangely and maybe like you're not so bright, and that's a terrible feeling, and that causes us to want to isolate ourselves along with the many other things that we deal with, and that's not good. Of course, isolating ourselves is also setting us up for depression, and that being the number one thing that causes us to lose life is because of that. So it's important that we tell ourselves positive things instead of just thinking about the negative things that are bringing us down. We have to remind ourselves of the things we can still do and the things that we still have in life, and just remind ourselves that there's good. And even though we're having a flare, that the flare will eventually calm down and we'll be back to our new normal and have a decent day. Then we can get things done, and still try to keep a positive frame of mind, because when we let that the melancholy set in and that dark cloud come over us, then we're inevitably going to just go hide in our room and not want to talk to anybody, and that just makes things worse. So I love that they point that out, and they ask you to write down positive things about yourself, and it's important. So there's something else in here that I really liked. What was it?
I'm gonna figure out what that word is.
Yes. Oh yeah, toolbox. 27. So.
It starts with the A.
Yes.
It looks like A-O.
What is a fibromyalgia toolbox? A toolbox consists of items or ideas you use to get through a fibromyalgia flare. These items may be things of tactile nature, books, games, crafts, and journals that take your mind off the pain. You may want to keep these items in a designated area of your home or in a tote so you don't have to gather them once your flare has begun. There are techniques you can learn to use to assist you with pain control during a flare. Meditation and deep breathing exercises are helpful. Cognitive therapy techniques can be useful, using guided imagery and reframing thought patterns. Rescue medications should be part of your toolbox. Each toolbox is specific to the person going through the flare. A toolbox is essential to get you through a flare comfortably and as quickly as possible. So I never really had a toolbox per se, but I love the idea of it. And I do have things that I go-to things, and one of the go-to things I've been doing lately is because, like I mentioned, some of the books I have are really, really heavy, and although I love reading the actual book and turning the pages, sometimes my hands just hurt too much from the RA, and they're swollen, achy. So I've been listening to audiobooks, and I'm a huge Jane Austen fan, which I mentioned before, and so I listen to the audiobook, and if I have the energy to do other things, I can do other things and listen, but I have to be careful not to do anything too intricate, because then I'll just completely lose what was going on. But I do enjoy those. So for those of us who are really having a tough time and can't handle holding a book, or just like to just lay back and relax and listen, that's awesome. I know some of us have fluctuations with our eyesight, so maybe reading a book might be an issue because of that. Whatever the case may be, I really enjoy audiobooks. You can listen to them on a drive, whether you're driving or someone else is driving, you can listen to them just hanging out at home, or you're doing the laundry. Just very much like you're listening, to us right now. You can do other things, or you can sit and watch, whichever you like. We are going to take a little break. My producers, they both have actual jobs, and for me, this is it, so this is, something I look forward to, but they are tired, so we are going to take a little break because I care. They're my family, and I need to make sure that everybody's good. So we're going to take a month off. I know that seems like forever, but while we're off, I'm going to continue to share the podcasts that we've already done. We have 28, so there's plenty there to repeat and show again, and I'm sure many of you haven't watched them all. The beginning ones, there is no video to go along with them. We only have audio, but we do have them on YouTube. Tony wonderfully put photos with them, so there's a picture and then just the audio on YouTube, but still you get to listen to it. And then about halfway through, I think it was 10 maybe, we started doing video, right? About 10, Tony? Yeah. So from about 10 on, I think we have video for the rest of those. So once again, everything is on YouTube, but the first 10 are all audio, or the first 9 are all audio, and the rest are all accompanied with video. And as time goes on, you'll see how the video gets a little bit better. It was kind of dark and not as bright as it is now. He's got all these wonderful lights. He's really put a lot into this. I'm really proud of everything that we've all accomplished and how hard they both work. I appreciate you guys a lot. Like, seriously,
Definitely, no
you
problem.
guys are awesome. And so when we come back, we'll call it season 2, but we'll just continue on. So it'll be number 29. What I'm going to be doing while JoJo's taking a break, Tony and I are going to work on something else. So if you guys are interested, you can have your children, if you have children or grandchildren, listen to these too. What I want to do, and we'll see how it goes. I haven't done one yet, but we'll be starting that next week, I guess, right, Tony? Maybe next Friday. I'm either going to go by Nana Violet or Miss Violet. I'm not 100% sure, but something along those lines. And really what it is I was going to read short stories to my granddaughters because they don't live here anymore. They live far away. So I was just going to do that. And I was like, you know what? I'm sure other people wouldn't mind that. I looked on YouTube, and I noticed there's other people that do it, but they do it where the camera's on the book and they're just flipping the book and reading it. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way, like Mother Goose, and I'm going to be like, here's the pictures, read the story, you know. I'm going to do it that way so that my granddaughters can see me and that I can read the book to them as well. I think that they'll enjoy that more. And if you guys want to, you can also show your children. So we're going to put those on YouTube as well. So we'll start doing that next week. Now, whether we'll put it out that very next day or not, I don't know. I'm sure it'll take a couple days. So it'll probably be like a week after we record it, it'll come out. And I will let you guys know. So if you have any interest, just keep a lookout and I'll mention it on our page. And then I will share it there as soon as we get it done. But anyway, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Let me look real quick. See. Shared about the book, we did the skit, we talked about movies, read the posts. Yeah, I guess that was everything. Got through that a little faster than I thought it would. Not to say. Yep, that's everything. All right, where are we at on time?
About a minute, 25 seconds.
Okay. To 30 minutes or to 40 minutes? I just
40 minutes.
Wait, oh, we did make it up 40 minutes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm going to miss you guys. Well, not really, because I'm still going to be around. But we're going to, like I said, take a break and doing other things. And hopefully when we come back with this, we're ready to be a little bit recharged maybe. And I'm going to try and come up with a few new things to talk about. Not, of course, Fibro and the articles like I do, but I mean, maybe something to, you know, maybe freshen up a little bit, keep it new, because I don't want you guys to get bored watching this. I know that I have a lot of followers that continue, and I'm sure that you guys will continue whether I changed up or not, but I just want to make sure that, you know, that this isn't something that you're like, okay, it's the same thing. I don't want you guys to get bored. I don't want anyone to get bored. I don't want to get bored. So we'll try and come up with something maybe interesting, or maybe throw in some how-tos of other things, or, you know, I don't know. I'm going to think of something. We're going to brainstorm, I promise you. Anyway, as y'all know, I love y'all. You're not alone. Talk to you soon. See you in a month.